Gotta change the mindset, man. It's a great time for it, bro. I'm really excited, man. I'm happy, like for real. I'm really excited.
It's scary because you'll get in here, you'll start working, you'll start grinding, and then you'll realize you'll get stagnant. And, nothing's worse than when you've changed everything but your mindset, right? I've changed my pricing. I've changed my process. I've changed my location. I changed my friends or quote unquote friends.
Yeah.
I've removed myself from certain family members. I've got this whole new structure and I'm ready. I push start and nothing changed. And then it's just like, yo, my attitude is still the same. My process, my willingness is still the same. My effort is still the same. And then you want to know why your results are still the same. It's like, yo, you got to change that mindset. You got to grind. Got to do it.
The output can always be something different. If the input never changes, the outcomes never change.
Boy, let me give some gunshots.
Yeah. Gunshot it up, my guy.
Gunshot
it up. Yeah.
Sound flat. Is it the headphones? It got to be the headphones. Anywho. There we go.
I don't have headphones, y'all.
Yeah. All right. I can hear myself better now. I ain't have it plugged in. Pause. Yo, I want to welcome everybody to now. See, my whole voice about to change now because I can hear myself better. Yo, welcome to the Paid Exposure Podcast. I'm your host, Gavin B. I am Gavin B. I am _ Gavin B. Look me up, follow me, like all the stuff. I had to delete 100 retouchers on Instagram. It was disgusting. Like, I literally took a picture and I said, yo, look at all these retouchers. And we're going to get to that because I want to talk about AI soon. I have a great friend
crazy
of mine.
Right now. Sorry, go ahead.
They are there. Yo, shout out to a great friend of mine, Jam Laws. Hold on. Let me. Laws is the official, unofficial co-host of this podcast because, look.
Unknown. Wait, what is it? Greatest known unknown?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, I like that.
That album was the most unknown.
Most known unknown.
Most known unknown. Yeah. That was a great album. That was like a safe album for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, let's go pop. Or let's like, because, 3 6 was at that point where it was like, look, that was on there. They were trying to go mainstream because before that, they were trying to stay, they stayed.
I got in trouble for that CD, but it was worth it.
Remember we used to have the little Skull T-shirts?
Oh, yeah. 3 skulls on there. Yeah. They had a whole conspiracy theory about, having Lucifer in the tracks and everything. It was just nuts.
Yo, rewind
this backwards. Got the people going.
Look, play this album in reverse. Yeah, the devil talking. I was just like, yo, what?
I never got around to doing that, but,
Never
I
did.
still know those songs off there that I like,
I remember one time, shout out to church, shout out, praise.
Since I can remember.
And it was funny in church. We had a whole rap night. And you know what I'm saying? When I said rap night, they went deep. And they was telling us all the songs that you play and how you got to play it back in this BPM. And you hear the devil talking. And, they gave us an example. And the only thing I was thinking of is like, yo, my pastor don't even know how to turn the microphone on. How this nigga figure out how to play a song in reverse at this many BPMs to hear the devil talking? I was just like, yo.
He was motivated.
Or it was cap.
Big cap.
Look, but
Cappuccino.
But what it ain't cap is, there's certain mediums and certain elements where you can hear different spirits and different levels and all that stuff. I believe that 100%. And I do believe
frequency.
It is, and I do believe they put certain messaging in music.
Absolutely.
You saw it at the Grammys. I know you didn't watch the Grammys. I did. I saw it at the Grammys, dog. Like, I don't think it's by coincidence you have all these artists who, I'm dressing like Satan. I'm singing to him. I'm singing for him. I think that's all interesting, whether you believe in God or not. I just think it's interesting that people feel comfortable going out and saying, yo, I want to dress what is perceived, what this perception is.
It gets the people going.
It do. It's super interesting. It reminds me of that youth pastor who kept going out there and saying suicide is fake and people blah, blah, blah. And
what?
Yeah, I got to send you an
article. I missed that memo.
Yeah, it was so sad, bro. He was like preaching against suicide for like 2 months straight. Sorry if this is a trigger warning. And like, bro, he ended up killing himself.
Wow.
And then it was funny because Mike, who was a religion major, and he was all this. Yep. And he was like, yo, it's a reason why most pastors don't preach against that. Because sometimes you go so far off in the deep end that you forget that you can't swim. Now, that's a bar. I just made that up, but that bar is fire.
Yeah, it is. It gets deep, you know what I mean? So in the world of like astral projections and psychedelics and everything, you know what I mean? Like, obviously very relative, whatever, but people get lost in the sauce, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So not trying to be funny, but the only reason that I even responded that way is because the last like preacher scandal that I remember getting into and really being like involved with was Pastor Drumright, Barack Obama's pastor, right? So that was a bunch of years ago, right?
Yeah.
But the reason I say that is because even during that time and before, bro, and this is a complete sidebar, we're getting right back on topic because we got a lot to talk about today.
Yeah.
But, like, there's always been scandal in the church, bro. Like, the priests have always messed with little boys in the Catholic church, right?
Elevation.
In America. I mean, yo, you just talking about the elevation joint going on in this past, like, I think hit the news yesterday? Yesterday. So that, I have not kept up with the stories because
it's always something.
It's some overwhelming, like, unrighteousness with these righteous people. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't know where to draw the line for myself. So I kind of keep my head out of it. But that's
and it's sad.
It's crazy.
It's sad.
It's crazy.
I went to the same church from. Let me play like this. My mom was going there at 8, and I finally changed churches when I was like 22. So you got to think about that. Like that's a long time. My family's generations in this church, and I seen so many people just trust blindly church.
Yeah.
Not God. Because you have to blindly trust God. That's just something, and you got to have faith. That's what faith is, right?
Yeah.
But I've seen so many people trust church and the pastor, and I've seen so many people hurt themselves, get hurt their family, lose their families, lose their house, lose their cars because they blindly trusted a man. Shout out to Bishop Brooklyn. The dude in New York who had the Gucci on, you know what I'm saying? He had the Bentley truck. My nigga in jail. You know what I'm saying?
That is wild, bro. I'm going to say something a bit adverse. Still, we're under the Bible Belt, so this can fly for conversation any time of day, right?
Yep.
Shout out to Friendship Missionary Baptist Church. That's where I grew up. You know what I mean? They
out.
kept me insulated from some parts of the truth. Now, y'all can settle on that for a little while, but some things just weren't necessarily a reality when I was growing up that I had to realize, hey, like, it's not all, squeaky clean, and it's not just
absolutely.
Perfect, clean mirrors, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, end of the day, I respect them. Shout out to Clifford A. Jones Sr. and Jr., you know what I mean, for that matter. So, I was heavily involved in church. I've not removed myself from said church, but I mean, at the end of the day, my ideals have taken me on this journey and path that align just slightly differently and adjacently, if you will, with those who I came up with, in their beliefs. So.
Look, it's amazing. All right. Shout out to everybody who came here for photography and was like, yo, what just happened? That's kind of how this podcast really goes. Like we just talk
deep.
Yeah, we just talk about shit that we like, that we into that. Yo, the goal is this. It's Black History Month. Speaking of, hand claps to us getting the shortest month of the year.
Every year, baby. Even on a leap year. Yeah.
Yo, one day black people will come together and we're going to get 2 months. But until then,
we shall overcome.
Look,
hey, so it's all relative. It's all connected. You know what I mean?
It is. One thing I do want to do today is highlight some black photographers. Do you got a black photographer you want to, shout out, show them some love? Just because it's Black History Month, black art is real. Black art is alive. I do want to highlight before I start talking shit.
Dang, you did tell me to get ready for this.
You need me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Shout out to Sophia Barrett Photography. She is an Atlanta maternity photographer, maternity and family photographer. Please look her up. Her work is art. It's not. I take pictures, and I'm trying to get where she is. But this woman, this black woman, her work is literally looks like fine art paintings. Her sets are almost as beautiful as her subjects. And I think that's something that's important. She ain't cheap by no means. And I feel like when you look at her work, you see money. You feel the money. I hear the we got
donations.
Donations. I feel the money, right? I found her through Henry Jones Photography.
Okay.
And he was just like, yo.
Shout out to Henry.
Shout out
Yes,
to
sir.
Henry.
Yes,
You owe
sir.
me some money now, Henry, because I shout you out too much. But I saw the work, and I was just like, bro, who is this? And I think back then I was checking, her maternity collection started at like 1,800. They don't start there no more. And that was maybe like a year and a half ago, and they didn't since more than double. But when I saw her work, I was like, absolutely. The curtains that I be seeing in the background look like a couple $100. But the real reason why I like her work is because I don't see any shortcuts taken, dog. And I think that's important to note. We all get to a point sometimes when you're on a gig, and you was just talking about this off mic, right?
For sure.
You get to a gig, and sometimes you're just not motivated to give 100%.
Yeah.
That might be due to money. Might be due to them trying to speed up your process.
Yep.
It might be due to I didn't do enough research in this, and I'm just here. Let me just capture whatever and let me deliver whatever.
Burnout.
And or you just burnt out. You know what I'm saying? You got other elements in your life coming through, right? Every time I see her work, I don't feel like I see a shortcut taken. And I've watched some of her behind the scenes. I've seen her doing customer reveals. I've seen her with her set. Her team on set working. You know what I'm saying? I see them look. Laws, no. I be looking at some furniture stuff, and I'm like, no, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, I ain't got that. No, I don't have it. But you know what? So shout out to her. I love seeing black women in this. Black women in this space have a unified front that sometimes go missed. But when you encounter one of these ladies, they let you know. They have groups on Facebook. They have groups on Instagram. They highlight each other. There ain't no black male photographer groups online, just to let y'all know. And I ain't finna start one. So if anybody want to start one, I'll be more than glad to join. But they have that on Facebook. And it's thousands of women in there working and killing. And she's one that I would love for more. If you are into fine art photography, go look this woman up right now. Shout out to Sophia. We love you. Laws.
Dang, that's a whole tribute, bro.
Yeah. Shout out to her.
I think that is.
All right, no more gunshots. I'm lying. Go ahead.
All right. I think that's really dope. I think that speaks to like the depth of what you look into. First of all, what you like about photography, what you respect through the lens of other people, bro. And I think that's really dope. So for me, in my part of this tribute, if you will, I'm gonna go, history. Shout out to Gordon Parks. If you don't know who Gordon Parks is, I imagine that if we know about photography history, that some of us do. Shout out to Gordon Parks. I think his imagery, street photography, and really just capturing the moment in a variety of settings and variety of environments is very compelling in a way that, for me, it simplifies photography in itself. And so, moving along from Gordon Parks, I then have to say, shout out to Alvin Jacobs, simply because in the beginning, when I first started picking up a camera, I put myself in low light situations. I knew that he had shot Beyonce and Jay-Z on tour or whatever, but I didn't know exactly what other forms of photography I was even looking at. So he had this wide range of photography, if you will, that he was posting on social media. I then had found you because your page and your photography was structured for a lot of personal brands, just a lot of people who wanted great photos, wanted to be represented well. So that's why I thought it was dope when I met the both of you at All-Star Weekend. It merged, it was very synchronous and energetic.
Yeah.
So moving along, I then met Marlo. Shout out to my guy, Jalen Marlo. His angle and approach to photography is very fundamental, very technical, and I really appreciate that. Just because it kind of keeps history alive, you know what I'm saying? And I'm a big history buff, so that's just where it comes. Shout out to, and I'd like to highlight lastly, and I won't even say lastly because there's a few that fall under that umbrella, but
yeah, we're gonna do this next week.
Okay, bet. Oh, see,
yeah.
I'm thinking. Okay. I had to shout out King Carla. She put me on a few photo books and educated me on some things that honestly I wasn't privy to prior to. I didn't see it as important. Maybe I wasn't looking for it to be that important. but she really gave me some insight that helped me in my overall direction in photography as a artist, as a photographer, just as a person, as a being as well. So really appreciate her for that. My fault, bro. I thought,
Nah, we're gonna do this
a
next week.
one, home run swing.
You go talk to Carla, and you will quickly figure out that there's a world of photography that you do not know. And I think that's amazing. You need people in our space.
Yeah.
To be able to educate other photographers as you come in, like, yo, no, hey, you need to go look up this person, study this person, figure out why they shot like this.
Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't need to always be you should turn your business into that. I think sometimes
not at all.
I think sometimes we run into finding out a new photographer, and we are trying to figure out if the person who's talking to us is trying to steer us in that direction. Sometimes that person just wants you to say, yo, just think about their mindset.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's also cool when you speak to her. She's telling you, like, yo, go look up this photo book. Marlo's the same way. Like, first thing Marlo does is I meet Marlo. He's like, yo, what's going on? Oh, yeah, I'm in the group. Oh, what's your favorite photo book? And then I was like, oh, really? Like, I'm asking him, and his first thing is, no, I just love collecting it and going looking at it. So if you told me one, I was definitely going to just go buy it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's super dope. But shout out to those photographers. Shout out to Alvin Jacobs as well and bro. Marlo. Alvin, come on the pod, bro.
I'm a fan of any person that you can ask why. And they can offer you their opinion, you know what I mean? But then there's some realness to the why, you know what I mean?
Facts.
And when the why is just simply because without knowing this, it's hard to move forward this way. That makes perfect sense to me, you know what I'm saying? That's why I had to shout you out in there too, you know what I'm saying? You got your own version of photo books too. So
absolutely.
I love that.
And there's gonna be a day when the rest of the country gonna have to answer for Charlotte photography.
Oh, y'all Charlotte artistry, if we can be frank, but absolutely Charlotte photography.
And I'm gonna tell you this,
bro. We are really out here for real.
Charlotte artists, the day that we decided we want to come together and really make this thing shake.
And we really worth it, yeah.
We gonna make it shake. All right, we're gonna go through it. We got enough to talk about today.
We do.
Nothing short of anything. Shout out to the young man. We posted this in the group. Shout out to the young man that bought him a camera from a camera store.
My bad, bro.
I don't know if this boy got sugar, baking soda, or that raw.
Yeah.
Push.
Push, holla support.
Yo, imagine you ordering a $2,000 camera, bro, and you get 2 baggies of white substances in it.
What brand was it?
It was a Canon. Shout out to Canon.
Man, that's
Look.
tough.
So, all right,
That's
first of all,
tough.
we can. I'm for the sake of the story, I'm hoping it was coke that was in this shit.
Canon camera or crack cocaine?
Look,
yeah, bro, he got to get his money worth. You know what I mean? I would hope so, but who's really letting that go too?
absolutely. But you know the joke is facts.
He might be in danger for that matter.
Absolutely.
Somebody shipping it that way.
You know, when I was young, you know how you sign up for them dumbass jobs when you were a kid? Like most people signed up for the
we
Vector
definitely
knives.
talked about them.
Yeah. One of the jobs.
Vector, baby. No disrespect to anybody out there working for Vector. You know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do. Set them knives. Now get them off.
Look, you know.
However,
They scammed us. That was the most dangerous job ever, and they was definitely looking for kids.
How about the mobile direct TV? All right.
Oh,
keep
shit.
it moving,
In the
baby.
Sam Club. Yo, shout out to Apple Unlimited, biggest scam in Charlotte history. Go look it up. You know, one of the funny parts was one of those little dumbass jobs I signed up for was you. Let's say Laws was selling a camera, and I actually got a camera in one time, right? I would get the camera from whatever seller. I would repackage it and smell it back out to somebody. And I got paid for every package. And I remember one time I got a camera. It was only thing I got. And my mom looked, she said, I don't know who you working for, but this legally does not make sense. And you will not have not one package been sent to my house for you to mail out to anybody. She said, because we don't know what's in there. Like, and I opened it up just like, no, man, it's a camera.
I promise.
But in her mind, she was like, yo, this goes bad. They have our address. They don't even have the person who originally sent it. And so I had to contact the people. I said, hey, unfortunately, this won't work for me anymore. I'm out. And they were just like, cool. And I knew it was BS because I didn't even have to do an interview. It was like an email interview.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but I was young and dumb, bro. I was like 16. I was like, yo. And I Googled the camera. I was like, nah, ma, this is legit. The camera's only $900. And my mom was like, what? Get this shit out of my house. The funny part about this story is, and this is a real story, by the way. The crazy part about this story is, bruh got he doesn't know who to sue.
Right.
Because the camera store is saying we sent out a camera. The post office is saying we delivered the package.
And the credit card company saying transaction went through.
Absolutely. So bruh is still paying on the camera. So it's crazy. This is a crazy story, and it just released yesterday. The father of a bride, he fired his daughter's wedding photographer because the demands was too high. So I was looking it up. These people are staying at the Mandarin, in like a whole nother, well, it might be the Marjorie. I don't know how to say these fancy ass names, by the way.
Boy.
So don't kill me. I just pay studio fees. I pay daycare. That's when my luxury starts and ends, right?
Maybe it's not in English.
But they were mad because they was about to stay at a DoubleTree. Wherever they're at, they were staying at a regular ass Hilton, and they are mad. And according to the father, like, yo, they wanted to stay at the host hotel. They wanted to do all this, and no. And he was like, I look at this and I go, would it bother me that I wasn't staying at the host hotel? And then it got me to think, is the father wrong? Is the photographer wrong? And then you know what I thought about at the very end? That photographer needs to be glad that dad fired him. If they acting like this before you get to that country, bruh.
Before anything of your job has been done.
Bruh, been started.
Let it go.
Look, I was like, yo, they are about to be on your ass.
Yes, sir.
But I'm also like, yo, I've done a wedding one time, and I stayed at the hotel of everybody. And it was honestly because there was only 2 hotels there, and this is where everybody was at. And it was cool. Me and my wife got back to the hotel early, and we got missing. We was like, we do not want them to see us. We don't want to see them. Because it does get messy. You know what I'm saying? People see you, people drunk. Maybe you started drinking because you like, yo, I'm done with a full, long day. And then, it's a mess.
People's ideas of photographers are always supposed to be, you take photos and then you go work on my photos, and all you do is work on photos. So why aren't you working on my photos?
Yo, I know you just got finished with the gig, but you don't have nothing for me to see already? Like,
right.
This shit is crazy. Oh, we should have started with this. Oh, yeah. Canon slashing prices. Go look it up. I think like the 1DX Mark II is like $3,000 off. Just go look up.
So is that a devalue, or is that like a benefit to Canon owners and operators? Because, see, I know you'll take it as a benefit, but let's be honest about this here. As a Nikon shooter, I think we can ask these questions.
Absolutely.
And Sony is just, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Sony Alpha.
Look. Sorry. Yeah. Sony don't even want to get me started. You know what I think? Somebody told me something a long time ago. Don't never buy a new camera when it comes out. Buy it when the next version comes up.
Yeah.
So, Laws was around. 2 weeks ago, I was looking at the same camera, and it was $6,000. And because we was talking about the money.
6 racks.
And I was like, yo, I wanted to put that on there, but it was $6,000. And then I look up 2 days ago, and it's $3,000. And I'm like, yo, ain't no way. And the reason why is because the Mark III just came out. And you can't have the Mark II and the Mark III $500 apart. It doesn't make sense, even though you got to take a loss. So I think it's just one of those things where we got something new. Now, I do want to know what Canon is like. Why y'all making so many cameras?
Yeah, I think that is to stay competitive. But I mean, I really haven't looked at the market that way. But
it's weird because they're getting rid of low end cameras.
Right.
We got a bunch of middle high grade level cameras, and then we have just like 2. But it's just like, bro, do we need a 6D, a 5D, a R3, a 1D Mark II and 3, and all these other shit? And I don't know how Nikon does it, but it's just like, yo. It's getting so saturated, and we about to start talking about in a little bit definitions and what's a real photographer, because it's just like I do believe too much access devalues a brand.
Yeah, and now that I'm thinking about it at this point, I think they could just be rolling out a new fleet, right? And so they're trying to make their baseline, just like Apple does, make their baseline higher than what it once was before, and you do that by oversaturating and creating a demand that may not even be there, to be honest. Because my next question is, are they developing new glass? Nikon, I know as soon as you get the Z series, like there's just a variety of new glass that you want to be able to afford and try out. But my God, the price, the price metric on it, it's up there. So you have to be in a position to really be able to put out, at minimum $5K, I guess, for high quality body and high quality lens. But at the end of the day, I imagine they're gonna make another flagship model, so they would want anything on the lower R series, anything on the lower mirrorless side to be the baseline. You know what I'm saying?
It was
I
funny.
think that's what they want to do.
Me too. I agree with you on there. It was funny. You think she'll hear this?
Maybe.
It was a nice young lady who I once knew back in the day. How about that? Anyway,
I'm trying to figure out where this was going.
No, it's not going
we talk
nowhere,
about all kinds of things. So
me and you be talking about
all
relationship
kinds
shit.
of things. So
I be telling you about kid shit. I be telling you shit that
Oof.
Look, Laws is a videographer. He will be a historian. He is a historian. He's a documentarian.
Wow. What a compliment.
It reminds me of that Yeezus doc. And how homeboy you just had all this old footage of Kanye. I'm like, yo, one day if this dude want to expose me,
It's exposed.
it's there.
I was there.
Look,
Pay me my tokens, please.
absolutely. But no, it was funny because last night a young lady hit me up and was like, oh, how much is a good photographer? And I just look, and I hate that question. And so I gave her this roundabout number. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. I said, yo, be prepared to, and she put good in all caps. I said, just be prepared to spend at least 3 racks. And, as a wedding photographer, yo, if you want somebody good to great, honestly, I look at it and it's like, yo, you need to be prepared to spend $4,000 and higher. You should be cool when your wedding photographer say it's $5,000. And this ain't counting the videographer. Like, you gotta, and I'm not an expert in that field, so I don't know what it is, but it feels like people, their budgets don't match their pockets, and I get it.
Absolutely.
But it's one of those things, and she was like, okay, cool, because the person who he's looking at was $2,000, and we don't want that because that seems not good enough. And I was like, well, do you like the portfolio? Because you might got somebody that's devaluing themselves, but they are overworked. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Touche.
But, that was just my mind. And she was like, yeah, we really like the portfolio. And I'm like, what'd you write me for? And this ain't even in North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? That was a whole nother subject.
We gotta start charging for this creative consulting, by the way. If you ask us a question, that's $150 if it's over 30 minutes of conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I remember my homeboy was opening up a restaurant, and he was like, yo, he hit up a dude to ask him about some just questions, and dude was like, it's $600 to sit down, dog. And the dude was just,
for real.
and I felt bad for him because he was like, bro, I don't have $600. And he's like, I really want to pick this dude's brain, but he's like, I felt like that was steep. And I was like, yeah, it is, but fuck it. Whatever. We ain't friends no more. Shout out to Angela Perez. Hold on. This is the Shout Out podcast. Hold on. We have had Angela on this pod before. I talk about her.
Shout out to Angela.
A lot. She is in a running for, I think it's Sony's photo of the year. She took pictures. It's such a simple picture. It's not a headshot, but per se, it's like shoulders up. A young man, no shirt on, with freckles, and it's in black and white. And it's just a beautiful picture. And, for me, when I look at the picture, it just draws me in strictly to his eyes. And look, this girl works, man. This woman works. She grinds. She grinds. She has kids. She's trying to dive into music as a hobby.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? She's amazing. And just to see her growth, and me and her have conversations that will never come out because me and her be venting. I be venting especially. Yo, y'all gonna be exposing me one day, but it's all good. But anyway, shout out to her. I love to see it. I'm glad to see it. I'm thankful because when I started the No More Pie by Gavin B Facebook group, plug, I had this unique thing where I reached out to a couple of people who I'm cool with, who I rock with, and a couple of photographers who I'm like, yo, this group needs you more than you need this group. Will you please join? And she was one of those photographers that's like, absolutely.
That's dope.
I was like, the community needs you. Yeah. And it's hard to sell people on that. I've asked people to come on this podcast, and people who could give back and they want to give off this I give back type persona online, and only for them to say, yo, I need money.
Facts.
And I get it. Don't do nothing for free, especially if you're good at it. And I get your time is valuable, but
we can't just have a conversation now.
Sometimes when you put stuff out, you get it back tenfold.
That part.
Now, this is when I told somebody yesterday I should have been a youth pastor because, I be preaching to these niggas. But this is one of those times where it's like, yo, put it out in the universe, yo. You gonna get it back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I promise if you help photographers as a photographer, they gonna look out for you. We'll look out for you. We take care of our own.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I got
a compliment, but
Look.
Well, while we on the highlights and the shout outs too. Oh, hit the claps one more time.
Okay.
One more time. Yeah. Yo, shout out to Shamir's Dream and Company, you know what I mean?
What we do?
Shamir's Dream Media Company, excuse me.
What we do?
See, Gavin won't tell y'all, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to my guy. He just worked really hard to submit his paperwork for a grant that he actually got. Shout out to my guy, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we gotta shout that out. Yeah, bro.
You know what's funny?
Don't even need to be specific, but you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
You know what's
Applaud
funny,
that
dog?
word.
Dang, they gonna really think we talking about church today.
Probably. We down south, so it should be okay though, right?
Oh yeah, we good. Yo, shout out to the Beyond Charlotte grant. I was a recipient of that, and I was happy to. And I told my wife, I was like, I really want to get online and just thank God and praise Him and just say thank you. Because of the hard work and the people who sent it to me, the people who included me. And I said,
we are. Look at this.
Look.
Here we are.
And then I told her, I said, I can't even say what happened.
Right.
Because I hate to have to make an example out of one of these niggas.
Right.
And I'm not tough. I'm not Ja Morant. You know what I'm saying? I ain't a fake thug out here because I'm not one.
Man.
But anywho, I don't want to have to make an example out of nobody. But yes, I was a recipient. They will be opening up. Please be on the lookout. Next month, they will be opening up round 2. I will tell you this. If you need help or if you need some insight or if you want to know what I did, please reach out to me. I'll be more than glad to help, to assist, or to at least give some insight of what you could do.
I mean, paying it forward, man. Look at that.
Absolutely.
Y'all got to tap in. Person who won the recipient of the grant is telling you, listen, I'm talking to myself. If y'all don't pick this up, I'm going to talk to myself and be like, hey, you got to talk to him. He got the grade. He going to tell you exactly what the process was, what he did. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
What his application stand out, what all information they asked for. It doesn't get any better than that. So you definitely want to take advantage of that opportunity, simply because I don't know too many photographers or just people out here in general who are willing to give you their process from A to Z, especially with a process that led to success. You know, generally speaking, when it comes to business, when it comes to this capitalistic mindset, people say when they win, oh, keep that one to yourself. You can give them the general points, but keep the majority to yourself so that you can keep winning. And at the end of the day, you'll be the only one who has access to it. I can't be mad at that mindset mentality, but that's not the one that I push and the one that I preach, which is simply from a collaborative and collective effort where if you win, we all can win. Just like he mentioned before, if you pay it forward. Yo, I understand that you want to be compensated for your words and wisdom and things like that, but at the end of the day, we're literally sitting down and having a conversation, whether we're being heard and paid for it or not. It's just what we do. So, why not take advantage thereof?
Absolutely.
But you definitely shout out to you, bro. Shout out to Angela Perez. Yes, sir. We're going to keep doing this great work for real.
We're going to keep working. I had an interesting conversation in another photo group, unnamed. See what I did there? And it was interesting because AI is moving, bro.
Quickly, fast, swift.
And it's like, it was a conversation she had where she asked, do I feel like AI is helping or hurting our brand?
Allen Iverson is not helping or hurting our brand. He's just Allen Iverson by himself, all right? My man got brains. Hey, AI, holla at your boy. We in the same city, bro. We here in Charlotte. Holla at us, dog. All right.
See you at Fridays. And, it's interesting because I wrote her and I said, yo, I feel like AI is, it is just another thing that is taking a photographer out of photography. It started with, so let me tell you why I'm not shocked where we're getting at. And shout out to all you photographers or fake photographers or half-assed or sometimey photographers or educated and I ain't never shot photography photographers. Shout out to all of you all who are using AI and posting it online to clients. It's like, look at my new photography work. And it's in, wow, you making it seem like you took the picture or whatnot. Like, it's sad, right? But let me tell you how we got here. We have presets and actions, which is which makes photography easier,
right? Editing
at least. Retouchers are on it. Like, laws know. You post photography online, You give it a week, you have about 5 in your DMs like, hey, do you need my services? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
At first, it used to be like 1 or 2 a month. Now it's like every week. And literally, I typed in retouches under my followers, and I had 100 of them. And it looked like I lost 100. I mean, I did. I deleted them all. I was like, yo, get them off of here. They dead. They don't like nothing. They don't comment on nothing.
Nope.
They are literally here as bots.
Retouchers, animators,
all those people, right? And then it turns into, yo, we got mirrorless cameras. Now, I know it's some hate. This is hate. By the way, Sony came in and messed the game up, and I don't
absolutely, and they were ahead of the curve, but they
were so ahead of the curve that I wonder if they ran us off a cliff, because it's been amazing.
Oh, God.
It's amazing what these cameras can do.
Yeah,
you know, the eye detection was amazing. Thank you, Sony, for that. The low lighting in photography. In videos is amazing. Thank you, Sony, for that, because I don't understand how Nikon and Canon is running the photography industry, and you come out of nowhere and just say, nah, we got this.
You know, got video productions already going. We got sound productions over there going. Nikon and Canon. This all y'all do.
This all y'all
and you're
do.
late to the party.
And you was not even ready for the party. You didn't know it was a party.
Ready for the party. Didn't know what was going on. Didn't know it was a function.
And then
outside the door. Hating from outside. Come on, man.
And mirrorless cameras came in and just said, yo, we gonna
vengeance.
We came in with a vengeance and just changed everything. And now we're living in the AI world, right? And we live in here, and I'm just like, yo, one day I remember as a girl, and shout out to Maya. Maya used to be out here, and Maya is making money. Maya is grinding. And Maya's one of her favorite lines was, I was building websites and never took a programming or a website class. I was taking photography and never did a photo shoot before. She was getting booked for things she never had did.
Yeah.
Because she had that was what she was saying. This is not what she was doing. But now it's easy to do that with photography now. Because I can go shoot a wedding and not even shoot it now.
True that.
Laws, I can get booked for a wedding, hire second shooters, a primary shooter and a second shooter, get the pictures back from them, send all my pictures out to a retoucher, and then get paid.
Facts.
And look, even if the cost of everything at the end is $500 that I made $500 not to leave my house.
Yeah.
I sat at home. Now, what if I do this 5 times over for this whole weekend?
Doing great.
You're doing great. Not to leave? Like, it's genius. And so when I look at AI, I'm like, yo, some people do not know. You can literally go on AI sites and type in the story that you want, and they will create what you're looking for. And people are taking those images and posting as like, look at my creation. And it's like, and it was funny because the young lady asked me, do you think, are you going to use this? Are you going to turn your back on this and try to figure out what AI can't do to make yourself a better business? Or are you going to use this to your advantage? And honestly, bro, I didn't write her back because I didn't have an answer. Right.
You're stuck in between both worlds, really.
Yeah.
So you got to figure out how to make it all beneficial to you. You don't want it to hurt you in any type of way.
Facts.
Lensa app really just came in one night. One night. Just changed the whole world of visual imagery or something like that. It's really insane.
He said something like that. You know what I'm always looking at? The photographers who your clients turned in your pictures and put it on the Lens app, y'all gonna sue them or y'all just gonna take that ass whipping and keep it moving? Because they gave Lens app the rights to your photo.
Right. It's like Instagram.
Just like Instagram, but Instagram has now come out and said you did not transfer copyrights. You still
the owner of the original photo.
Yeah, but Lens app definitely made it clear that no, we own this photo. We're gonna do what we want to for it for forever. And it just made me realize, like, damn, I wonder, like, because I didn't have any clients, and I probably wouldn't have tripped. I probably would have felt like, because clients didn't know.
Right.
It's a difference when clients do know and don't know. One of you niggas knew. That's why we beefing now. But it's interesting. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's get to what we came here for today. Come on, man. You already know I'm a shady motherfucker. I always I will find a way to shade. I will say some shady shit just to get it through. I mean, y'all know he ain't delete
on the right side of history. You know what I mean? You can say and do what you want to do. So I ain't mad at you. Like, put your feet to the fire.
There was a post. Damn it. Damn it, bruh. Because he didn't. Yo, shout out. All right.
Man.
Shout out to Judah, man. We had a
Shout out to Judah Townsend.
Shout out to Judah Townsend. Hickory's on. Look him up, follow him, like it. Me and Judah had a conversation, and I replied to his story. That's why I can't find the post. And it was about the post I agree with, even though I think it's I think the post was misandrous and simp encouragement.
Woo!
We'll leave it at that. And if Mike was here, Mike would make me go farther into the conversation, right? But
half y'all gonna have to go look up what the misandrous is first.
Because they told me I was stupid. Because
I'm sorry, bro. I'm still stuck on that joint you showed me.
Sidebar. Imagine making a comment online about misandrous, and it's nothing but men telling you that you stupid because you can't spell mistress correctly. Women actually came to my rescue. Even though a misandrous is not all women, because that would be misogynist for me to think that.
There we go.
That. But shout out to all the women that came to my rescue to be like, yo, fellas, y'all are incorrect. He's actually right in his comments. But anyway.
The misuse of misinformation over the misrooted words. It's so crazy to me.
And you know,
anyway.
laws hate some bad vocabulary being spewed out here, right?
I just misunderstood why.
So the conversation was models, please understand that photographers should respect your boundaries. The reason why I say that's simp related because first of all, if we're gonna be frank and blunt and quick, straight to the point, that is I don't like posts where we're scared to say men, and I don't like posts when we're scared to say women.
Okay.
I understand that gender, this is not even we don't want to misgender, misquote, mislabel somebody. That's not this. And we got to get out of that too. The minute that, and I kind of want to get to this, the minute we can use definitions and use them correctly and be honest, our lives and the lives of this world would go easier and smoother. Funny story, sidebar. I was taking pictures at a corporation yesterday, and I told my wife when I got home, I was so confused by the gender neutral bathrooms. I understood why I was one, but it was two side by side, so you had to pick. And she said, well, what was the issue? You know, that's a big thing. I said, yeah, the issue for me was when I said I went into the bathroom and they had stalls, urinals. Mm-hmm. And I said, I don't care what your gender is unless you're male. I think that it's disrespectful for me to have bleep. Mm-hmm. No, we family here. I was like, I feel like it's disrespectful for me to have my dick out and it's a woman or somebody that's non-binary to come in and see me like that. Like, I was raised that way. Yeah. I said, so honestly, when I went in the bathroom, I went into the stall. I just had to pee. Right. But I felt like it was disrespectful. And I said, it wouldn't have been nothing if I would have went in there and saw nothing but stalls. Cool, bet. But it's urinals right by the sink. And I said, I felt like that would be, whatever. And so, anywho.
Where there was once strong dividing lines, they're all blurred and murky now. So,
Look, and I was like, I ain't never had to think about. And then, look, the joke was, I'm looking like, all right, whenever I go use the bathroom, use the time the men's bathroom is like to the left. So I'm going to just go to the left. Mm-hmm. But sometimes it be to the right. But today I picked the left. I don't know why. Anyway, so the reason why, so I didn't like that post because they were scared to label men and women. Now, in full transparency, I'm not going to go through what me and Judah did say, but it was quickly pointed out to me that the photographers were he and the models were she.
Had to be. Because otherwise, it's written and unspoken.
Absolutely. So I'm getting tired of these points of, when we're speaking of models, we don't want to say female or she or her because we don't want women to be seen as weak, and we also don't want to, we can have the argument and we can know the unknown, mm-hmm. right? And we can all talk around it, but we don't want to generalize anything because that would be misandrous or misogynistic, right? And I felt like, the simping part for me is like, I'm not even here to talk about models. I'm tired of talking about models. I see people have the same argument that I have online, and it makes me cringe because I'm like, damn, I had them same arguments. Like, stop giving a fuck about models, yo. Yeah. If you're a photographer, respect them, love them, work with them when it's beneficial to you. But trying to change, I saw that whole post like, oh, the crisscross and who pays who. And I'm like, models don't ever pay nobody. Mm-hmm. They don't.
I'd rather use a muse.
Thank you. So the reason why I'm bringing this up, somebody's like, all right, Gavin, get to the point. You done killed it. The point is this. Me and Judah started having a conversation of, my point to him was, the moment we start defining what a model is, the quicker we cannot have posts about how photographers should respect a model's boundaries. Now, do a definition cure that issue? Absolutely not. People will still overstep boundaries because that's what people do. No matter if you, and I told him, I said, you know, models sometimes overstep boundaries with photographers.
Sure.
Clients
flirt to get a little discount here and there.
Absolutely. FaceTiming. I've had a girl, you know, FaceTime me countlessly through the night. How many times have we had models put us in uncomfortable situations? Let me give you an example. I'm in Vegas one time. I'm shooting a model, and she sends me her address, and I'm driving there, and on the way there, her phone is off. So now I'm like, yo, I don't know this girl. I know her from across the world. I seen her work. It's cool. I Google her number, and guess what? It comes up. She's a sex worker. All right. That doesn't bother me because I've shot sex workers before. It doesn't bother me. But now I'm going to an unknown. Are you a scam artist? Right. And is this entrapment?
Right.
Because even though we've talked about work, it doesn't look good that you showing up, blah, 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 whatever. Right. I go get to the location. She says, oh, come in. I show up. And guess what? When I go to the door is closed. So now I got to knock because I'm not just walking in somebody's house. Right. Open up the door. It's 2 dudes right there.
Yeah.
How unsafe is that? You know what I'm saying? Now, let me be clear. I shot with this woman multiple times since then, still in Vegas. Guess what? She was cool. Guess what? The dudes were amazing. Bro, you need anything? Oh, bro, come on in. Yo, hey, what's going on? Oh, this my boy here. This my boy here. Yo, y'all use whatever y'all need. Let us know if you need anything. Everything was cool. But how unsafe is that was? Because let me tell you, if that was a dude, if I was a female and that was a dude situation, yo, it's a totally different story.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it is situations where, as a photographer, you're put in uncomfortable situations. So boundaries are always crossed.
And let's also be frank about this too, because the issue may not even lie in the lack of safety or the lack of boundaries for photographers and models, XYZ, right? Some people just don't have the experiences to account for to give them the most holistic viewpoint on it. You know what I'm saying? You just mentioned something where it's no exaggeration. It's the fact you went halfway across the world to go meet someone that you literally initiated communication with a conversation on this part of the world. And you went and fulfilled that because that was your aim. That was a part of your journey and things like that. Sometimes, and this is no slight to anybody or anything like that, but the lesser experienced person in that conversation is there to learn and be open to listen. You know, they're there to listen and be open to learn, as opposed to think that they're going to have the same ideas to draw from. You know what I'm saying? And so in many times, you're actually educating people in, a lot of times in this profession and entrepreneurship and just how we are as humans with ego, we don't want to give up the fact that, hey, I didn't think about it that way.
Absolutely.
Hey, I haven't even encountered that before. I've never even put myself in that situation to know that.
Absolutely.
And once we do that, we're no longer explaining shit. We're simply educating people, which is the better approach. And that's the approach that I want you to take on from now on, because in listening to this, I'm actually starting to draw that line where it's like, bro, you're so passionate about it, but you've actually done it. You're presenting this exact experience as if, what would you do if you were in this situation? And the fact was simple, like, it's very simple. They weren't there to do it.
Absolutely.
So you're literally educating, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Not explaining your side of it at all. So some people will I say that because people will give you that energy back where they're going back and forth with it. They're trying to make a valid point on their end. There ain't really no valid point to be made because I done already made the point, you know what I mean? And that goes all into the definitions. Is it helping and hurting us? Is it, you know what I'm saying? Like, our words that we're using. Again, the difference in explaining something versus educating somebody on something. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Difference in misogyny and misogyny. Go ahead.
Look, no. That you push me to where we got to go, and I respect that, and I love that, because we're talking about. I look at the definition of a model, and I'm not here to give a definition of a model. One, I don't care. Yeah. 2, that's not my business.
Yeah,
I let models define what's really a model. I'll let a model tell another model, yo, you 4'11", this might not work.
Shout out to Holla.
Shout out to Holla.
Yeah.
Y'all was real sound when she got on here and said it.
Really,
you know what I'm saying?
Got to say.
And I ain't coach her through shit because I was there to be educated.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that alone. So I look at it though. Photography is my business. Hello.
They're all the way around.
So
all the way around.
Look. So I'm sitting here and I go, you know, the conversation with me and Judah turned into like, and it was a great conversation because it was just like, yo, what is a pro photographer?
Mm-hmm.
What is an amateur photographer?
Yeah.
Clients, models, women, let's be honest, they have no problem with labeling you a guy with a camera. GWC, they love posting that shit.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? It's easy to label men as quick as possible. That's really why that simp ass post pissed me off, because I was looking at it like, yo, they know what they doing.
Mm.
This is gaslighting, folks. I think I used that term correctly, right?
I believe so.
And so the trigger
people
word.
get away with murder with it too. This is insane.
Oh yeah. Murdering men is trendy.
Yeah.
That's another all the way around.
Give us the
We ain't even
quickest
got
and slightest reason to cancel somebody.
Yeah,
know?
well, I was gonna go to Memphis, but we ain't even got to go there. Murdering black men, especially, is super easy to do in 2023. And whether it's online,
It's
or
not
at the hands
funny,
of the
but
police.
the levels of irony are at an all-time
Mike
high.
said it 2
All
days
time
ago.
high.
He said, name one other group of people that you can murder on camera and it gets shown repeatedly.
It gets the people going.
Yeah, look. So, and I ain't even gonna do that to y'all today. We ain't even gonna do that to y'all today. But what I do want to say is that labeling an amateur photographer, especially when it's male, is easy. Labeling a guy with a camera is easy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it does get that. You talked about it earlier. Yo, those are those lines that just so happen to be so blended together. I do look at it as like, yo, is no definition of what a pro photographer is it helping or hurting us?
Oh, it's hurting us. The lack of definition is definitely hurting us.
Because
and
your
it's
definition
helping
may be
those
different.
who exactly, and it's helping those who don't have any idea thereof. You know, I think labeling, hyper labeling, identifying, and all. I think it's a slippery slope. I believe in industry, it's necessary, right? We have to define roles. Period. Any job structure, any organization that you've been a part of,
Facts.
roles were defined, and it did not ask you how you felt about it. It asked which part of this do you want to, take part in.
Oh, you don't want to be part of none of it?
Boom,
Gotta go.
You're not even you're not here.
Yeah.
In our personal situations, right? I think we've labeled too much, and when I say personal, I'm talking about as individual humans in society, right? With ADHD and autism, with no disrespect, no slight in any type of way. I think
Facts.
that if anything, let's argue about how we're all on the spectrum.
Facts.
And then now we can identify where we are. You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
But let's not try to pinpoint and say, oh, that right there, that one sign, that one indicator is this. So again, in industry, photography is an industry, okay? Yes, I believe it is definitely necessary and it is hurting us. In our personal lives, it can help us. It can help and define, but it's all about how we go about doing it. It's how we choose to define things. That's like why you just said that's gaslighting. You know what I'm saying? Some things are subjective based upon your knowledge of it, your experience with it, but there should always be a foundational basis that things can be compared to or at least measured by. You know what I'm saying? That's honest. That's his structure. That's his organization.
Yeah, because
otherwise it's chaos.
It is chaos because sometimes, the conversation we had was people can't tell the difference between. Sometimes people can't tell the difference between a $50 and a $500 photographer. I beg to differ. I'm calling bullshit. Because sometimes it's just the language on your website.
Yeah.
Oh, well, a $50 photographer don't have one. No shit. Or
very true.
You know what I'm saying? It does not shock me that the higher the photographer is, the less photos. I don't know if you noticed this. The less photos is on their website. You ever look at you start looking at high-end photographers.
They don't have to convince
They
you.
don't have 300 photos on their website.
No.
Which is mind-blowing to me, bro.
Right.
They might have throughout their whole website, it might be 20 great photos. But they all tens, right?
Right.
And then you got somebody else who maybe be charging $200 per session. It's 200 photos on their page.
Yep.
And it just, and I'm not even there to slight, because I'm one of the people who got 200 photos on their page, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I just thought about that, but I look at it as like, me, you, and Marlo had this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the union at? You
Yes.
know, where is Professionals Photographers of America? Why aren't we all? That's $50 a year. Why aren't we all on there? You know what I'm saying? Why can't we tell the difference between, yo, I'm doing this as a hobby, I'm a hobbyist, I'm doing this as a semi-pro, or I'm a pro photographer? What a professional photographer. Does it mean you have to be full-time? Not necessarily. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We all got different definitions. I got my definitions, but every time I say something, y'all get so offended that y'all stop following me and stop talking to me for like 2 months.
Yeah.
And it's cool.
It becomes very questionable, bro, because it can easily become, what is the metric? You know, how much is it? How much money you're making? Is it how you've grown year to year? Is it the clientele that you have? Is it the access that you have? Is it the branding that you have? Is it your gift of gab, which has nothing to do with what anyone can perceive of you online? It's just you as a person. There's a lot that goes into it that I think it has to be defined at some point.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we continue to allow people to come in and do what I simply term bastardize the industry. Yeah. No one's. I've never since we're defining here, the way I use bastardize is I've never taken the word bastard seriously. You know what I'm saying? When someone says, "Oh, there's a bastard child," oh, that's
Bastard
a child that
culture.
nobody. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Mike.
Bastard the child nobody takes seriously. It's like, oh well, their dad's missing by default or something. You know, it's just bastard has always just been labeled as something that's just not quite as adequate or just not as efficient, if you will. So, yeah, people come in and make photography in a whole industry not as efficient, makes it, not as significant as the others all the time. And I mean, large companies do this. Microsoft with the phones that they create, Apple and with the phones they create, Google now with the phones that they create. They all have cameras on them. And so, in a way, this bastardized the photography industry, right?
Facts.
We don't want more people to come in and bastardize an art that we take seriously, because essentially that's what it is.
Yeah.
It is an industry, but it's an art form. The original portraiture was through painting, right? We then created better ways, just like cavemen invented fire. We created better ways, more efficient ways to take the same portrait in less time. So as the industry, as the craft has grown, more definition has to be placed there, more terms of understanding, more specificity as to what creates levels to this shit.
Absolutely. Me and you do that all the time. I lean on and be like, yo, I see its levels. And I see the levels between me and other people. Yeah. And I see the higher levels between me and other people. And I'm looking and I'm like,
always looking at higher levels.
Because I'm always looking like, yo, how do I get there?
Right.
And
Absolutely.
Me and you was having a discussion about headshot photography. And I had this conversation with Will as well. And, I love to see, first of all, photographers got to stop lying. We got to be honest. One day we're going to have to start being honest with each other.
How honest?
Well, how far we want to go. Because there's this thing now where I've been in several groups and it's, I'm doing headshots today. And people just show this invoice, right? And it's $10,000. It's $15,000. And it's like, yo.
They're so bold.
I have a $5,000 processing fee. And it's like, okay, cool. I never see you at the set. I never see no results of the shooting. I never see you thanking your client. I never see nothing. Now.
I never see the clients themselves raving about this amazing work they have.
Absolutely.
Which they would naturally do, right?
They would naturally do. So somebody saying, well, everything ain't got to be on social media. Absolutely. But why you putting the invoice on there? You already giving me everything else. You've done enough. You know what I'm saying? If you got to tell me you're the boss at your company, look, put it like this. You never go to a job and they put the supervisor or the CEO on the wall and say, this is the CEO. They don't have to do that.
Unless you're in Korea.
Look. Like, they don't have to do that. Yeah. So I look at it as like, yo, if you telling me you making money, I always question if you really making money. So that part was, so I'm saying that to say, I was looking at headshot photography, going back to your camera phone situation. And, you know, I'm looking at, I'm doing photography for this many people. Maybe it's $50 a person. Maybe it's $75. Maybe it's $100. You know, my favorite thing is I was calling around talking to photographers, and I had photographers like, oh, nah, it's $150, $200 a person. I'm like, cool. And I'm thinking, I'm like, yo, all these people are laughing when I send these numbers out, right? And so which got me to thinking, like, why is that happening? And then it's like these damn phones have found a way to just make the process quicker, cheaper, and simpler for people. And then we got the AI, we got the retouchers, we got everybody else. I was telling my wife, I said, yo, the next time y'all need photos, y'all probably should buy a Sony, take the picture,
click the button,
go on Fiverr, get the retoucher, and y'all can have licensing. Y'all are overdue licensing, copyright, and everything with your photos. And I said it'll probably do well because you only gonna post it on Instagram anyway.
Touche.
And I said that's where photography is going. So then, you know, so somebody's saying, well, what they got to do with a pro photographer and an amateur? Because you know what happens is people come in, they hobbyists, and they want to make $50. So they'll offer $50 aerial photography. You know what I'm saying?
You know what we got to do now?
What's that?
And so no, you just said that because I did.
I know. That was
my God.
That was me being
like,
shady.
That was just wow. And
that was a shady thing.
To solve that problem, I'm going to create 2 different tiers within my business. I'm going to have the high premium services, and then I'm going to have the $100 no matter what fee, right? I'm showing up with a ring light and taking headshots in between.
I know a couple that the dude showed up to their wedding photography with a camera phone, dog.
With a camera. That's it right there. In between the ring light. They steady your face.
They still ain't got that video. They hit me up and said, did you record anything? I said, no. They said, we know. We knew you were not our wedding photographer, like videographer, but we didn't get no video. And I was like, why did y'all hire this man? They was like, oh, we kind of like his work. And I felt bad for him.
We kind of like this man.
I was like, I felt bad for these people. You know what I'm saying? But that is how it is. Before we get out of here, what's your picks for the Super Bowl?
Oh, man. I got to go with the Eagles, bro. I got to go with the East Side, the Philly, the predominantly black organization that ain't never all black. But, you know, hey, black enough. That's right. Shout out to the Black Enough crew. You know, I'm going with Philly, bro.
Yeah.
I just hope to see a good game.
I hope to see a great game.
Yeah, man.
My boy was asked my boy, shout out to Ez. I said, yo, who you think gonna win? He was like, bro, I think Philly will win. He said, I don't think the NFL can afford for Patrick Mahomes to win. And I said, why?
The language we using in assessing games these days, man. This is crazy.
Absolutely. And I asked him why. And he said, if Patrick Mahomes get 2 rings this early in his career, he said Brady's his thing ain't safe. He said this early, dog. He said this early in the game, it's not safe.
And he's gotten deep in the playoffs year to year. Like, this kid is really performing and showing.
He was like, bro, because I don't even think Patrick Mahomes is 25. He might be. But you think about Brady playing to 40.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was like, I don't think the NFL can afford that because then you just got to assume. He's like, the game is not finna get more dangerous. It's about to get safer.
Safer and faster.
Exactly. He was like, only thing he going to have to do is sit back there and throw for the rest of his career. He said, so I don't know. He said, but I wish the game could end in a tie and everybody wins. He's like, but it can't. I'm going for Philly as well. We already did everything else on this list.
So many storylines going into this game, bro. It's quite magical.
Brothers versus brothers with Kelsey. And the Kelsey brother, you know.
Travis Kelsey.
And his brother played for the
Ryan
Eagles.
Kelsey, right.
The
he's
Eagles,
offensive lineman, which is pretty dope. Shout out to Ryan Kelsey, man. Holla at your boy Kelsey brothers. What's up, man?
The Eagles player who got arrested.
Brother versus brother again, you know, like 2 black quarterbacks, whatever. That's what he's got, right?
That's what they said.
Okay, right. And then you said, what now? What happened?
One of the Eagles players.
Oh, that was great.
He got arrested, man. He a creep or something.
Crazy.
And Michael Irvin just got removed from Fox because he's it was something. He just got removed from all Super Bowl things because it was like it's a scandal going on with him.
Dang. Andy Reid going back to his former team, man. That's just like it's just so many storylines building into this. I hope y'all putting some money on the game, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't put too much money on it because I mean it is some topsy turvy like Eagle favorite type stuff. You might want to put it on your my homie, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I was gonna speak about. We'll talk about this next week. I wanted to talk about like speaking of Michael Irvin and all the sexual harassment and all the misconduct. They call it sexual misconduct. Y'all, they putting so many labels on everything. I'm confused. The girls are confused. So it makes me do what I told you. You know, when I see sexual misconduct circle around people, especially in our industry around models, like it's easy for me if I see it circling around a photographer, I'm just like, oh, don't need to talk to bruh no more. I remove myself, whether it's true or not. You know, that's the sad part. And now I'm definitely at the spot now where if it's circling around a model too much, I don't work with her. And I'm conflicted because you never want to get to the point of, yo, models saying, oh, nobody will ever work with me, so I don't want to share my truth, right?
Right.
And it got me going to, you know, it got me thinking, it's like, yo, I can't afford it, though. Me personally, in my life, I can't afford as a married man and a father who's taking care of my kid, I can't afford to be around someone who seemingly always is in a scandal of sexual harassment, sexual misconduct.
Right.
And I just can't.
Because somewhere along the lines, you're inviting that energy, you know what I mean? If it's cyclical like that.
Yeah, it's either you're attracting that energy. We ain't even got to call it inviting. Sometimes it's like, or I got to question if that's what you're doing.
Right.
And I don't want to. So guess what? I see you from afar, handshake, I keep it moving. And it got me thinking about, and I'm not going to get no detail. It got me thinking about that interview, and the girl was talking about, she was mentioning all the sexual assaults at her last job. The interview, the podcast interview.
Right.
And I remember I looked at you and I go, no, she was involved with this too. She was involved with that as well. And I told you then, I said, yo, never going to work with her again.
This industry gets you around so many interesting people, I would say.
Facts.
It's always funny to me when you recall things that I'm like, wait, what?
Bro, because I stashed it because I listened to it and she said.
It's all too real.
She didn't know what happened to her.
Right.
Which I can understand, as we see with Michael Irvin. It's not sexual assault. It's not rape. It's not whatever, you know.
And the money grabbers is out here, y'all.
Yeah. And
money grabbers is out here.
Like, what is the difference between sexual misconduct and sexual harassment and, you know, sexual assault? Those lines are so blurred that they blend together.
Very fine lines to start with, but absolutely
blurred. So, and I can understand how this young lady could say, hey, I don't know what happened to me, or I think this happened. And then what scared me the most was at the end of her conversation was, well, I just wanted some money. And she ended with, I didn't get nothing, so I quit. Like, that's scary to me. I don't have time for none of that shit, so I stay away from it. Anyway.
And that's so wild to me because I've heard so many different stories about, like, and not necessarily recent or anything, but it's been coming out just a little bit here and there, where there are actually genuine men who are like, you know, searching for good women or just not in a space that they once were before, you know what I'm saying? Like with having sex and just every woman is just whatever, you know what I mean? To where they're having issues telling these women no, not because they're not having self-control, but because of the way the women are responding to them saying no.
Chris Brown.
That puts a huge question mark on, like.
Yeah, it's scary, bro.
Anyway.
That's why I'm glad I'm at the game.
Yeah, bro.
And if you're still in the game, shout out to everybody still playing, man.
And may the odds forever be in your favor.
And look, it ain't. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. Look, I want to thank y'all for listening. Sorry it took so long to get this done. I literally just asked Law, I was like, yo, you got time? I didn't think I'd take an hour of his time, but we are.
It's a good thing to be busy in today's world, all right?
Next episode, we will talk about your first quarter goals. Any goal.
That's cool.
You got, but we'll talk about that. Anyway, we're going to holler at y'all next time.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the Paid in Exposure Podcast.
Let's get it.
A podcast about helping our community of photographers to reach the next level in their business.
Also, this was episode 145. You probably have stopped the podcast already, but yes, this was episode 145. We keeping it real. Let's get it.
Wrap it up.
What? Shut up.
Wait, so I can't pay an exposure?